of the webinar. I'm going to give it just another 30 seconds and we'll get started. Thanks for joining, everyone. All right, I think I'm going to get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Orit Kalman. I'm a senior facilitator with Sac State Consensus and Collaboration Programs. With me is my colleague Danica DeBow, who's going to be helping with any technical issues. And we're excited. This is the 10th in a series of training that we've been doing as part of the Urban Water Management Plan guidebook and moving forward. Before I get into the agenda, I just want to remind everyone in terms of how we're going to engage. We have a series of presentations set for the 2 hours. And we ask that if you have any questions or comments, feel free to include them in the chat. In the Q&A, we'll get to those. We've set up specific time for Q&A. You can also use the hand raise function in the participant panel and ask a question in person. That always helps clarify things when a question may not be fully clear or there's a follow-up. So feel free to use all these modes of participation today. And we know that even though we're very familiar now with this remote format, sometimes there are glitches. We are recording this webinar as we have done previously, so it will be available should anyone get dropped off. So that'll be available. A reminder on the use of the Q&A panel, since it's been a while, you can type your question at the bottom. And if you see a question that has been posted by someone else that you think is particularly important, you can vote it up. You can also expand using the comments on a particular question to just enrich the conversation. So feel free to use that in addition to the chat. So for our agenda today, we're going to start with just a quick overview and the focus of the training, just making sure we're all here for the right reasons. And that would be Julia Ekstrom, Urban Unit Supervisors with DWR's Water Use Efficiency Branch. Then we have two presenters, Gwen Huff and Zaida Darley, who are senior environmental scientists with DWR. Gwen is a retired annuitant who you've heard in past training, coming back to first talk about the navigation and data entry. We're going to have some time after her presentation to spend some time with practice, and then that would allow you to ask additional questions once you get your hands on the worksheets that they will be describing. We're going to take a quick break at around 11, and then we're going to move into the submittal process, looking at special cases, exceptions that you need to consider in the worksheets, how to upload attachments, how to address errors as part of the submittal process. And again, we'll have more time for Q&A. So we have an approximate time for these different topics, and wanting to make sure that there's ample time to address Q&A. We're going to wrap up by noon. but all our presenters are going to stay on the webinar between 12 and 12:30. So if we don't get to all your questions right away, we will be having a more informal time for that once the meeting is adjourned. So feel free to stay as needed. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Julie.
Great, thanks, Arit. Good morning, everybody. I'm Julia Ekstrom and in the urban unit for the Water Use Efficiency Branch. And welcome back to those of you that have been in the training before. So my overview and focus is going to be pretty quick as before we dive in, but if you go to the next slide, Arit. So this is all the pieces that we have offered as part of the training sessions over the last, that was starting back in December. So this is some of this, how some of us think about the pieces and how they fit together of the urban water management plan. We started with the Delta Reliance just to make sure that that was addressed as soon as we possibly could back in early December. And that's over there on the right. But the core of the urban water management plan is really about reliability, assess for suppliers to assess and characterize their demand and their supplies, and to make sure that their supplies are sufficient to meet the demands, reporting that in the past, current, and then in the future, forecasted into the future, and under different scenarios of dry conditions. And so we had a session that was entirely dedicated to the drought risk assessment and the optional planning tool that is offered for that. And then we also offered a session that was on the water shortage contingency plan. On the left of the screen, we have the portion that there were 3 sessions dedicated to the SBX 77 of 20 by 2020. And so those that Gwen led were about estimating population served, constructing your baselines and targets for those that you needed to do that, and then the big, compliance with SBX 77. So if you are still in and then of course we had the climate change session, and then there was one dedicated to energy use reporting. And then most recently we had the process, is there's a lot of steps that are in the water code for the requirements for preparing and do the public hearings and how you do the notifications, those procedures. So we had that in training session number 9. And so today is dedicated to just looking into like the mechanics of how you submit to the WUI data portal. Of course, as always, please send us questions or call us, with your questions, and we'll answer those as quickly as we can. If you don't get a response, feel free to send another note to us so that we can make sure we address it. And if you have outstanding questions, you're welcome to stay on the line during the end of this session so that we can address those in person if you want, or together. So thank you very much, and for all of your hard work and for your patience as we've prepared these materials for you. So we're going to turn it over to Gwen Huff to introduce the WUI data portal, and so thank you.
Julie, just one quick logistical issues before Gwen, you start. I forgot to mention that we have live transcript, and if you do not want the transcripts on your screen, you could go to the icon with the CC live stream, and you can hide it so it doesn't show on your screen. If that sometimes can be distracting, and if it's not helpful, you can do that. And I'll turn it over to you, Gwen.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Are you guys seeing this?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Gwen. Many of you know me. Really happy to be here. It's been a lot of work to get to this point for you guys and for us as well. So welcome. So I'm going to talk about the Water Use Efficiency, WUE, WUI Data Portal, Navigation and Data Entry. First thing is, as of 7 o'clock this morning, the portal is open for everyone to be able to submit their 2020 data. If you have not tried it, you'll have an opportunity to kind of play around with it a little bit later in this presentation. But before you can actually get in and do anything, you have to be registered as a user. So I'm just going to show some screenshots of how to register as a user. And I encourage you to do this right away or during the time after my presentation when it's open for you guys to try out. So first you come to the screen when you go to WUI Data. And if you have not registered before, if you have, you just enter your username and password. But if you're not a registered user, here it says new to WUI Data. You go ahead and click that. This is going to come up. You enter your email address, tell them that you're not a robot, and submit. Then you're going to receive an email that looks like this. Verify the account right here. You enter all this data. And then you're ready to go. So what I'm going to show now is WUI Data. Oh gosh, I can't see my tabs. Okay. So let's assume you're registered. And then you go to WUI Data and go ahead and get into the portal. So for those of you who aren't familiar with WUI Data, it's got a few modules in it. One is the population tool, one is urban water management plans, ag water, water loss, and the water efficient landscape ordinance. Of course, we want you to go here. So launch the UWMP tool. And this is our welcome page. We have a list of things to just make sure that you're prepared when you are ready to submit your plan. You fill out the Excel tables. You're going to copy paste. I'm not going to go through that whole list. Okay. Here at the bottom, there's an example of how to cut and paste. I'm going to open that up. Pretty straightforward. You select the cells from your Excel template. Copy, go into WUI Data, do the first cell, Control V, and it will populate. So that is a large part of how you enter into WUI Data. But let's keep going. So this page here, we could call this your user dashboard. And this is telling you which water suppliers you are authorized to enter data for. If you've not been in WUI Data, there'll be nothing there. Or if you have a new supplier that you haven't been authorized for. This has two because I put this in for today. But if there's nothing there, if you need to add a new supplier, go here. Add water supplier. You put in your water supplier's name. A couple letters, it's a pre-populated list, and you could pick that one. But I wanted to say that if you don't find your water supplier, for example, you've changed names, this is the same list that we had in 2015. If your water agency has changed names, or you're just recently big enough that you have to report, you might not have been on the 2015 list. What you have to do is contact the WUI Data Help Desk. So you'll send them information telling them that you're not on the list. And it's going to take a little bit because we want to make sure that we get you into the list and we understand who you are. You may get a phone call from us, but you will be able to eventually work that out and get in, and it will show up here. What happens is if I want to request that I enter data for a new agency, I add the water supplier, find the water supplier's name. I'm not going to do it here. And you have to be authorized. So what happens is this step, adding water supplier, when you do it up here, you're requesting authorization. And that is an email that's sent to the system that Betsy Bale, one of our staff members, she responds to it and she makes sure that you are authorized. For example, if your email has the name of a water supplier in it, then it's automatic, pretty clearly you're associated. But if you're a consultant, you may need to send a letter. And here is a little instruction on getting authorized. So you provide documentation of your consultant to this email address. And then once you're authorized, it will show up right here and you can launch the 2020 tool. A little bit later in the presentation, I'll go over regional alliances and regional urban water management plans. But just for the purposes of a straightforward submittal that doesn't include a regional, then I'm just going to go into a regular submittal. Here is our first table. Now you guys all recognize these tables because they look like let me open my Excel file. SPX, sorry, just a second. Log retail symbol tables. Okay. So on the left of my screen, you recognize these as your forms, your Excel templates. So you're going to have those open. You're going to have registered. You're going to have associated with the supplier, but authorized. Then you start entering information. Table 2.1. There's table 2.1 in my Excel. As for the instructions, I am going to copy. I'm going to go into the first cell. I'm going to Control V, populate it. That's how easy that is. There's a notes section down here. Feel free to add notes as you need. And you move on. Let me just talk for a second about navigating this page. On every page at the very top will be the name of the agency, and we'll verify that it's 2020. There's this ribbon. This is all the different sections that you're going to go through. Right now, we're in the plan preparation section, as it says right here. In the plan preparation section, let's see how many tables there are in this section. There are 4 tables, and you can jump to each one, or you can just hit the next button. So I'm going to hit the next button and go to table 2 within the preparation. Table 2-2.
Gwen, would you mind zooming in on these screens a little bit more, just because we have somebody is asking that in the chat.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I wanted to point out that this table 2-2, we had to make some modifications between what was in your Excel spreadsheet and what's in WUI data. So this is table 2.2 in WUI data. This is table 2.2 in your Excel sheet. We've found some redundancies in this table. Specifically, this mentions regional urban water management plan, and so does that. What we really wanted was this information. Is this an individual UWMP? Are you part of a regional alliance? a regional urban water management plan and are you part of a regional alliance? So there's a difference, but you'll be able to figure out where we have redundancies here and just enter. So this particular supplier is an individual. Let's just check mark. But if you're part of a regional urban water management plan, you'll also have to do the drop down and select an urban water or regional plan. Okay, that's table 2.2. Next. I'm just going to go through a few tables one by one, but I've pre-populated most of these. And this one I'm going to go through the suppliers and retailer. Go table 2.3. Suppliers and retailer, UWMPRA calendar years. If it's in fiscal years, put the date, but we're not. We are in acre feet. That's good. 2.4, local wholesale agency. We're just putting a name there.
Gwen?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that people can hear you. If you can just talk a little bit louder in terms of following the steps so everybody can hear you clearly.
Okay, I moved my computer closer. I hope that helped.
Yeah, to the extent that you can speak a little louder, I think people are having a little bit of a hard time.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I will speak louder. Okay, let's go to table. Now, notice that we're now in system description where we've jumped over to the second topic area. And you want to see how many tables are in there? Just one. That's great. Population served. I'm going to go to my Excel. I'm going to copy. I'm going to populate. And I think I have populated everything else already in the same method that I showed before of just copy paste. Okay. Let me just, okay. Actually, I do want to have that open. My Excel. Okay. And are there any other tables that I want to go for? So you're just going to go through, populate all the tables. I did want to skip to table 4.4. And just say that in this table, we have there's a difference in your spreadsheet. It doesn't have that question on top. But in this table, if you have multiple public water systems, we didn't set it up to have multiple tables so you could report the losses system by system. You're going to, if you have multiple systems, you're going to add them up and you'll check this box up here. And, oh yeah, I didn't complete that. I also wanted to say that on this table, there's something that you're going to see at the end called validation errors. The system checks things to make sure that the fields that are required are completed, certain numbers are compatible, things like that. On this table, the requirement is that you have to report volume of water loss for 5 years. But if for some reason, and we know it happens, you don't have 5 years of data and you only do 4 years, I'm going to take one of these out. When you get to the end, you're going to get an error that tells you you have to complete 5 years. But it also says DWR recognizes that you may not have 5 years of data to proceed. So you'll see that error, but I just wanted to point out two things. One, if you don't have 5 years, you don't have 5 years. And you have to add together the losses from your different systems if you have multiple systems. Okay, I'm going to skip to baselines and targets. And there's a difference in your Excel spreadsheet versus what's in the table in WUI data. And the difference is this top line. And it's a question that's not here in the Excel spreadsheet. Does the supplier have more than one SBX verification form? Just answer yes or no. We ask you if you have multiple verification forms and it's not common, that you contact us because there's a special submittal process. Table 5.2. Sorry. Table 5.2, same thing. There's a difference in that there's this question on the top. Do you have more than one SBX compliance form? Just answer yes or no. And again, contact us if you have multiples. Okay, I'm going to skip to the supplies section. I'm going to go to the table list. I'm going to go to table 6.4. Is that right? Table 6.4. You may have multiple tables in your Excel spreadsheet. We did have an option to have multiple tables for 6.4. And the way that you do that is you add a table here. You need to. Yeah. But we're not using multiple tables. Okay. But that's how you would do multiple tables. I'm going to skip to table 7.1. Okay, again, you may have multiple tables. This is a little different way to do it, which instead of having that little box at the top, switch to multiple tables here. So that's all I wanted to say about that one. And that is it for the walkthrough of WUI data. And later on, I'm going to turn it over for just a minute to Zaida to talk about this water energy section. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the attachments after our break. Talk about the attachments, submitting to DWR, and the validation errors that you're going to see. And in the break after Zaida speaks, I'm going to ask that you make sure you're all registered, try things out, and we'll be open for Q&A. So right now, if there are any questions, I'll take them, and then I'll turn it to Zaida after I take any questions.
Okay, thanks, Gwen. There are a few questions in the Q&A panel that I'm just going to read so we can track the questions and your answer on the recording. First question from Jeffrey, are the WUI data tables sensitive to significant figures? Do they have to be whole numbers?
Yes, they are whole numbers.
Okay. And Marty's asking, do we have to change tables in our UWMPs to match new tables in WUI?
No, the data that's captured in the tables is not changed. You no need to change your UWMP.
Okay. And Jean has a question about table 4-1 about how to add lines.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show that. Here on the right-hand side, if I do this plus sign, it gives me a new line, and you can do as many as you need to. And you decide you don't need that many, then delete it with the minus sign.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's helpful. Shane is asking, can the state make a file upload and then we review the values in the tables to see how it lands?
I don't understand the question. Can you say it again?
Yeah, I don't know if reading it will clarify. Maybe Shane would want to speak in person. Can the state make a file upload and then we review the values in the tables to see how it lands? Yeah, so it's, I'm not sure that I understand the question. So Shane, if you want to use the hand raise and ask the question in person, that might help clarify your intention. Elizabeth is asking, how does the cut and paste work for tables that have cells that with drop down options?
Okay, so here I am in table 4.1, and I just copied and pasted this and it automatically filled. And I'll show you just a quick demonstration. Come on, table 4.1. Go to my Excel table 4.1. Okay. And there are drop downs in here, right? All these drop downs, but I've already filled it out. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to copy, and I'm gonna, oh, I gotta, let's see what happens. I've already got data in there. Well, that's what happens. It automatically selects the drop down that you pre-selected. It'll fill in with what you selected.
Okay. So you were able to use the cut and paste, and then it'll identify the one that fits into the drop down.
Yeah, the one that you've already selected, it'll show up.
Another question, we didn't fill out the SBX 77 verification table as there were no changes to the 2015 plan. Do we still need to resubmit?
Excellent question. In the SBX verification form, there are 4. This is a new table. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention this. The beginning of SBX verification, we have a new table that was not in your Excel sheets. We are asking, because there are very few instances, but they happen, where a supplier, for example, may have multiple forms. That's something we need to know, and you would put that here. We're asking you to select one of these 4. You may have multiple forms. If you do, you check one of these. If you have a single form, then we ask the question that the person here is asking. Are you relying on your 2015 verification form? If you are, and you click that, WUI data is going to skip you past all the verification tables. I'm going to hit next. It's taking me right to compliance. You do not need to fill out. I'm going to go back up here, right to this topic area, verification. But if for some reason I have a new or revised verification form, for example, I'm doing an urban water management plan for the first time, so I had to come up with all my SBX data. I have a verification form that I didn't use in 2015. Or I'm recalculating for SBX. Okay. If you have a new or revised form, then you check here. And then if I hit next, it starts walking me through the verification form tables. So did that answer the question? I believe it did.
Okay. I have a couple of additional questions, and then we'll go to the practice, and then we'll continue Q&A. There were also some answered questions in the Q&A panel, and I'll just read those just so it's recorded. But here are the questions for you. Do you recommend completing all the tables at one time, or can input be saved, the portal closed out, and returned to later to finish?
Thank you for saying that. You may save and exit at any time. All of your information is saved. Nothing is submitted to DWR. Nothing is accessible to DWR nor the public until you submit here on the top right ribbon, until you submit to DWR. So you can go in and out as you need.
Okay, great. For tables with embedded formulas, will the cells need to be converted to value only before we copy and paste?
Oh, for example, this one here is acre foot. These green cells are auto-filled. Well, you know, I don't know what it does there. So Gosh, what I did here is I just entered into the white cells. I don't know what happens when you try to go over a green cell. And I don't have a good example of a table. Can I come back to that one during when you guys are trying things out? I'll try this out.
Okay, we'll come back to that question. For requesting access to enter data for an agency, is it sufficient to forward the UWMP help email address, a proceed to perform work email we've received from the agency, or do we need the agency themselves to email the UWMP help email to grant us access?
You know, Betsy Vale is the one that is watching that and making sure that it's an acceptable approval from the agency. And I think Betsy is online. Is it possible to open up to Betsy to have her talk about that?
Yeah, Betsy, if you can use the hand raise, then we can find you on the list of participants and then I can allow you to speak. And Shane, I'll come back to you. It looks like you have a hand raised too. I don't see Betsy's hand raise.
Let's put that on hold maybe, and we can come back when we have Betsy on.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Shane. He had the question earlier. Go ahead, you should be able to speak.
Make sure you're not muted.
Yeah, Shane is not muted. Should be able to speak now. So that was related to the file upload question from before.
I don't think my mic is working, maybe.
There you go. We can hear you if you can speak to the microphone.
Okay. So I'm asking this question because the state CAS-GEM system, they provide a Excel table where you fill in the values and then you upload that Excel table into the system. And I feel like you guys have provided a really well formatted Excel table as well. And I'm just thinking, well, since you provided a formatted table, we could potentially just upload that table into your website, and then your website just kind of crunches through the different values in the tables and puts them in the right places. And then we just review that, make sure that uploads right.
Okay, well, we would love that to happen. Julie, do you want to talk about that a little bit and maybe what might happen in 2025?
Sure, I can't really speak to what's going to happen in 2025 yet, but we understand that desire, Shane, and but it takes a lot more work on the back end to understand everybody's Excel sheets than you would think. And in previous software life, had experience of doing that, and it was endless errors for the user. And so with this many tables, it creates it's either going to be the end data, like what's inside the system has lots of errors because of little things that happen with Excel translation to being uploaded. It just gets, we couldn't do it. So just like that. But we understand that desire, and we know that it needs, in future iterations, we need to figure out a way to make this easier to submit because there are so many tables. So I think in the next year, we need to have a work group for ideas to, how to meet your needs while it's still fresh, of going through this experience to pull together like the vision for the future and how we can better meet your needs. So, but at this time, this is what we have, is that and so that's why Gwen is, going through what may seem like a lot of screens, you know, but that where you have the template from the Excel spreadsheets and you can copy it and paste it into most of the tables. So at least that there's, you know, that option instead of having to enter it into a wizard or a form. Yeah, I hope that helps. And I'm sorry we can't create that system at this point, what you're describing, but that's a great idea.
Thank you.
And I'm sure, Julie, as people use this and engage with this, there might be other opportunities to improve and think through the tool moving forward. I'm gonna pause the Q&A because we do want to give you a chance to get on the WUI data portal and just play with it a little bit and see if there are any specific questions as you're going through it that you want to ask.
I have we have one more bit, and that is Zaida was going to talk about the water energy tables before we went to the
Okay,
practice.
all right, so let's do that, and then we'll do the practice and additional Q&A as time permits. Thanks, Gwen.
Hi, everyone. I am Zaida Darley. This is my first time going through the water management plans. So bear with me as I am learning along with you. I am going to go over the water energy use. As Gwen had mentioned, you'll see it at the top. It'll say water energy. In the past, it was a volunteer that you would enter the energy use data. This time around, this isn't voluntary. You have to provide energy use data for what is readily available. So the first slide, the first table is really an introduction explaining, you know, what you need to, which one of the tables you may need to use. There are 3 different ones, and each one, I'll be going through them, have a different level of amount of information. So you just pick the one that fits your supplier the best. First of all, you can't go past this first slide without telling us which, you know, how are you going to provide this information? We provide the tables, so you can just enter in WUI data tables, just the energy use information. Or you can also use the energy use data tables and WUI data, and also provide a separate attachment at the end, which Gwen will cover later. And then or you can just say, we're only providing an attachment and we're not going to enter data into WUI data. So if you go and pick this one, you should be sent to the, well, it should be going to the, it should be skipping. You should not be having to provide any information. This is the only part where you have to, you know, pick one to move forward. There are no other tables that have, you know, force you to answer any questions. Table 01A is about being able to do a water supply process approach. So you will be picking which type of system you're going to be providing energy use for. Here in the drop down, we ask you what the unit of measure. It should bring it up from the very beginning with the preparation in the system files where it's asking the unit of measure. It should carry over. And then the guidebook says to try not to include embedded energy into your calculations. However, sometimes in some cases, it's really hard for like say, if you want to include whatever the wholesaler is it's an upstream embedded energy use. If that's the case, then you click on the box and just let us know that that is what's happening. But preferably you're just dealing with the energy used within your operational process or operational control. We're asking for a year of data. So You can enter a year, and you can, at a minimum, a year's worth of energy use, or you can take the average of up to 5 years. But you just need to let us know when is your start date and the end date. The last time the end date was just automatically figured in. A lot of these calculations were already figured in. For the water energy use tables this time around, there are no formulas in the table. So you'll be copying and pasting or using the tables however you see fit, because we had a lot of suppliers talk to us about how this is how they want to use it, or this is how it fits for them. So we thought it would be best to just remove those calculations, let you enter the data as you see needs to be entered. So with this O1A, you're putting down the volume for each one of the processes. If there's one that kind of is combined, you can just pick a column. And then you have your hydropower in this other column. It's a non-consequential hydropower if that is applicable. And then enter your energy use for each system. The hydropower here should be a negative number so that you can deduct that energy. And then your energy intensity can be calculated as you see fit. The tables show it converting it over from kilowatt hours over millions of gallons, because that's just kind of how energy is typically viewed. This energy intensity is typically viewed. But if this is not how you want to provide the data, just there's an area for data qualitative narrative where you can explain how your methods, your procedures, help us understand what, how you want to use this energy table. The most important part, though, is to say, tell us how much water in the process and how much energy has been consumed. There is a table on all these tables. There's going to be a part where you can put renewable energy. So that anything that's not placed into this hydro power section can be included in this section right here. And then you will tell us if it's estimated, metered, or a combination of both. This is all readily available energy use. So you just let us know how you came up with the figures and explain the methods on the data quality narrative, and then also provide us any other narrative to try to help us explain, understand your use of these tables. So this one is the water supply process approach. You also have the option, you don't have to do that one. You can do the O1B, which is a total utility approach. You'll see that it has the same, you pick which type of delivery you want to submit, whether there's upstream energy, embedded energy that is figured into your numbers, the same amount of the date, whether you're doing a year or an average of several years. The chance to pick volumes of units, which should carry over, as you can see here. And then the same in this one here, you're just adding up all the water management processes all in one. You're not breaking it down by individual process. Same hydropower numbers are figured in here. And then you'll see at the bottom, it's the same, renewable energy estimates and the narratives. Now, the third energy use table is the multiple water delivery product. Now, the purpose of these water energy tables is to be able to see like where your energy, what consumes the most energy, as a way to help you then future management, try to reduce that energy use or energy consumed. So you'll see the same reporting dates, upstream values, but in this case, the water management processes are broken down, and you can you have all the types of products broken, so you can say how much of a percentage of this is extracted. Now, in this one, I believe it should be adding up to. So you can put down the percentage of what you're using, and this should sum up. Okay, I guess it doesn't, but this, make sure that this sums up to 100%. Otherwise, you may get an error message on this that it's not adding up correctly. But that may be the issue you may have. And then again, with here, there's talking about the water delivery types and production volume. You just enter the information. We just took out all the calculations, but you should be able to use our tables and just copy and paste them. And then you'll see the same quantitative and qualitative sections at the bottom. Now, if you have recycled water, this is the only type, or wastewater that you are in your system. You can provide the energy consumption if that is within your operational control, where you are taking care of the collection and disposal of wastewater. You add that information here. The same with recycled. If you're bringing in the recycled system water back into your system, you place that water energy amount here at this bottom section. And then again, the same, estimates, renewable energy and narrative at the bottom of each one. And that is all there is to do with water energy tables. Were there any questions?
Let's see. I think we do have a couple of questions. If a table is not applicable to a supplier, should it be skipped, or do we need to provide NA in the notes or other?
So you pick one. Yeah, you don't have to put NA if like you have one of three. So this, if you look at the tables, you have to pick either O1A, O1B, or O1C. So only one of those three. O2 only applies if you have wastewater and recycled water. So you don't have to enter anything. It's not going to prevent you from, or you shouldn't get any validation errors if you do not enter data on the other tables. I hope that answers the question.
Okay.
I don't know if that question was
You
supposed to
want
be
me to
just for
respond to
energy.
that?
If that question was supposed to be for something other than the energy tables, it would be great if you put NA in the notes, just so that we know you purposely skipped it, and maybe a sentence of why it doesn't apply, because you probably wrote that in your plan that it doesn't apply because of you don't have recycled water or something like that.
Okay. A question specific to the energy table, O1A. In our adopted 2020 UWMP included a decimal and were not whole numbers. For the purpose of the WE data table submittal to DWR, although our UWMP shows a decimal, is it acceptable for us to round to whole numbers, since the WE data table only accepts whole numbers?
Oh, interesting. Try to update the table so that at least your energy intensity can accept decimals to one place. But the actual volume and energy consumed are in whole numbers. So that's fine.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
It's fine if they're different because of that problem in terms of the other tables if you needed decimals. But again, it would just, you might want to make a note of it that this is different than our plan because we can't enter decimals or something like that.
Mhm.
So it's just flagged.
Okay, so we're at 10:55. Thanks, Ada, for the presentation and going over these tables. We wanted to make sure that people have some time to look at the tables on their own. And so maybe what we can do is incorporate that into our short breaks. So please go ahead and take a look at the tables that we just went through, and Also, take a short stretch break for yourself just to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And then we will just stay on and answer questions until 11:05, and then we're going to continue with the presentations that we have moving forward. All right, welcome back, everyone. And checking to see if Gwen, if you're ready to continue on.
Yes, I am. And I have a question for you and Danica in the chat. If we can find a way to poll people, I'll just say that.
Okay.
Were there any questions that came in from users when they were just trying on this break to get in?
Yeah, so here, let's see. I'm trying to input data into table 01B, the energy intensity, but the portal will not let me move beyond table 01A without inputting information. It has red cells and says I must correct it before continuing. Is there a way to skip ahead to table 1B?
I'd like to see if Zaida could answer that one. And if it's a problem with the system, that's really good for us to know, but maybe it's not a system problem. Zaida, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I shouldn't be doing that. I would just put down zeros to try to get you through to the right table. And then we can figure out what's going on. That
Okay.
shouldn't be happening.
All right, thank you. So hopefully the putting in the zeros would help. Another question from Sophia. We have several tables with long notes descriptions and received a warning that our notes were truncated to fit in table 2.1. Do all tables have a character limit for notes? And if yes, what is the limit for the notes in the Wii portal?
Okay, well, thank you for pointing that out. There have been a few tables that had that problem with truncating notes. We don't want the notes to be truncated. And so we will we'll ask our developer to expand the field for the notes. And we'll do that today.
Okay, thank you. Another typo on table 8.3, drought is spelled with a B in the drop-down menu. So just a small fix. And I think with these questions addressed, why don't we move forward to your presentation, Gwen, so we have time to cover everything.
Okay, I will share my screen. Oops. Okay, are we showing it? Yeah. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we're getting very close to the actual submittal process.
Gwen, we're still seeing your Zoom meeting, not any tables.
Thank you. Share.
You may want to exit and reshare again.
How's that?
This is better. Great. Thank you.
And so now I'm going to cover the last few bits before you're actually ready to submit. And so I'm going to go into, interesting. I'm going to more data. We're in the test agency 2. We've gone through all of these topics in the top ribbon, most of them. But now we're going to talk about the attachments. So here on the top are the attachment requirements. If you're part of a regional urban water management plan, this is only if you're part of a regional plan, do you have to submit this? But most suppliers will only do the contact information sheet, the documentation of adoption, and a copy of their plan. The contact information sheet, some people have been kind of surprised to see that one. It's pretty simple. The sheet is right here. There it is. So we're looking for, basically what we want here would be a staff person that we will be calling if we have any questions. official notification, when we send a final letter to you, we don't want to send it to just a staff member. We want it to be the highest level that you think is appropriate. General manager, someone on your board of directors, something like that. But we wouldn't be contacting that person for questions about the nuts and bolts of the UWMP. That would be this person here. It may also be a consultant. So if you would provide us all that information, that's really helpful for us if we have any questions. So how do you do an attachment? List of uploads. So far, there have been no attachments to this UWMP. So I'm going to do an attachment type here of an individual urban water management plan. I'm going to choose the file. It's going to be from my desktop. I just have Signal Hills old UWMP, and I'm going to upload that. I'm going to call it a UWMP. I'm going to upload. This particular one takes a little bit of time. Sorry, you just have to wait a minute for it to upload. Yeah. And we have to upload it. We'll get an error message.
We can't really hear you, Gwen. Maybe you could talk.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So sorry, it just takes a minute for that thing to upload. It's kind of a big file. It's a whole UWMP, but I have to upload it or we can't submit this thing to DWR. So I hope it does it sooner rather than later. Right now, we're just having to wait for that. Maybe while we're waiting, there we are. Okay. So now it shows that I have the UWMP uploaded. I also have to do documentation of adoption. I'm just going to choose anything from my desktop here. It's a Word document. I mean, of course, I'm just doing anything from my desktop because I don't have the UWMP adoption papers on my desktop, but you will. Gonna upload that, and this is adoption. I didn't choose the file. It's going to be here. Open, upload attachment. And then the contact information sheet. Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to do it in blanks. Okay, now I'm going to upload contact information, choose file, contact template.
So just to be clear, Gwen, the document that you just discussed, the template that needs to be uploaded, filled in, saved into the desktop, and then uploaded as a filled document and as an attachment.
Yes.
Okay, and then it will show up.
So all of my 3 that are required, because I'm not part of a regional, they're already here. Now there could be several other attachments that you want to include. And here's a list of possible attachments. So when I go to attachment type here at the bottom, there's a lot of different ones that you can include, plus an other, right, that might not be included in this list. These are not required. The only ones that are required are the ones that are up here. But here are some additional ones. In the SBX, 2 target methods, you don't fill out the tables, you just upload as an Excel file. If you're doing process water deduction, that's also not entered into WUI data tables, it's just as an upload. Regional alliance tables, same thing, regional alliance letter. Service area map, water energy, if you choose to upload that as an attachment, remember you have an option. You may fill out the tables, you may fill out the tables and add an attachment, or you may do attachment only. A water shortage contingency plan is a separate document. Delta Reliance 2015 and 2020, and water energy use. So this is a duplicate, I see. We'll correct that. Julie, can I have you for a second talk about the Delta Reliance 2015 and why that's here?
Sure. So the Delta Reduced Reliance relates to the Delta Plan, and we have an Appendix C in the guidebook addresses that. It's not a specific requirement of the Urban Water Management Planning Act. And so DWR is not going to review that portion at this time as part of the review of the Urban Water Management Plan submission. But we appreciate those that are preparing and submitting that, because that becomes public and it is part of the Delta Plan. So we offer to allow you to put it here if you would like to, if you don't want to open up your 2015 Urban Water Management Plan. So in the Delta Plan, it does point to the 2015 Urban Water Management Plans as needing to include this information for those that are part or going to be part of a covered action. And so that's why it would be relevant here. So I know that many suppliers prepared the 2015 version for their 2015 Urban Water Management Plan this time, because there is the new set of tables that are proposed as a way to have a structured, consistent way to comply with this requirement. So it's not a requirement of the Urban Water Management Plan, though. So that's why those are options there to include it.
And we kind of went around like,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say how we kind of went around about, do we want them to upload the 2015 one, Delta Reliance, in the 2020 submittal, or open up the 2015 plan and WUI data and do the 2015 submittal? But there was a lot more difficulty opening the 2015. So if you have an addendum to your 2015, we decided we'd put it in this 2020 submittal.
Yeah, and if the supplier prefers to post it and attach it officially with their 2015 Urban Water Management Plan, they can do that. This is just the easier route for those that want to go this way.
If you want to go to the 2015 plan, you're going to have the plan unlocked. And so you'll have to contact us first, and we'll unlock the plan, and then you can upload it.
Gwen, there are a few questions about the attachment uploads, and I'm wondering if we can just go through those quickly before you go to the next topic. Nolan is asking, can we upload separate PDFs for the main plan, the Urban Water Management Plan, and to the appendices?
Absolutely.
Okay. And
one of them is has the attachment type of individual urban water management plan. The rest of them you may want to call other, and then in the description you would say, Appendix A, or however you want to word it, but one of them should have the attachment type of individual urban water management plan for the system to recognize it.
Okay, and if the adoption is included as part of the appendices, then it would be uploaded as a separate file.
Please, yeah.
Okay. Which attachment uploads are required and which are optional?
So at the top are attachment requirements. Maybe we should have said required attachments, but this is what it says. Required is the contact information sheet, documentation of adoption, and your individual plan. If you're part of a regional, then you would also have to submit the regional. Everything else is not a requirement for the system.
Okay, is there a file size limit for the uploads?
Haven't run into it yet.
Okay, the concern is that some plans are quite large with appendices. So appendices can be uploaded separately, and that might help with the size limit.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Looks like, Julie, you were responding to the question on the reduced reliance appendix. And we talked about that. Did you want to say any more on that? You good?
Sure. Yeah, I was just gonna, so the question, I don't know where the question went, but it was asking if there was a resolution, if what was prepared for the Delta Reliance was identical between 2015 and what was prepared for the Urban Water Management Plan 2020. If both of those Delta Reliance pieces were identical, could they just submit, do they have to submit it twice, or could they just submit the resolution that appends it to the 2015 plan? And my answer in the chat was just that they could just, again, it's not a requirement, but our suggestion would be that you could upload the resolution as an attachment, and then select attachment type and make sure that it's labeled as the 2015 UWMP Delta Reliance. And that way it will be, that'll be public. So that way if somebody is looking through all of the Delta Reliance submissions, they'll be able to, see quickly that supplier does have it for 2015.
Okay, thank you. A couple of quick questions with regard to the type of files. The guidebook mentioned including shapefile of service area. Is this where those get uploaded?
That's right. And I look in attachment type here. I'm going to do a drop down. Service area map.
Okay.
Yes.
So that answered the question if these all need to be PDF documents.
Not the service area map.
Okay.
And some of the documents, no, some of the documents can be Excel. For example, the contact information worksheet is Excel. Anything you can PDF is good. The individual UWMP, please make that a searchable PDF, because the reviewers have to go through and find a lot of information from your plan. And if it's searchable, it's much faster.
Clarification with regards to the documentation of adoption of the water shortage contingency plan. Is that a required submittal?
Yeah, we don't have that on here. I wonder if we should add that as a required submittal. Julie, what do you think?
Do we have the documentation of the UWMP submittal? I see. Documentation of the UWMP. Yeah, we should probably add that. If you're submitting today, you can just label it as another water shortage contingency plan attachment. So then you could have 2 water shortage contingency plan attachments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you could describe. So you could have a water shortage contingency plan attachment, and then in the description say that it's adoption. Mm-hmm. And then Julie and we can talk about adding.
Actually, I think it would make sense that you just do, your attachment type is water shortage contingency plan attachment, and then you put your file description as your adoption.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other one is the actual plan.
So I'm going to ask another question with regard to the attachment types, and then I think we'll move to the next topic. The comment from Chris: shapefiles are useless without accompanying PRJs and other metadata files. Will the portal allow zip files, or should we be using the KML, KMZ, Google Earth files?
In the population tool, we use KMLs. We haven't really tried this, Julie.
The upload of a zip file,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would expect it to be allowed, but if, however, the 2015 version was built, it wouldn't have changed. So we can try that to find out for you real quick.
Okay.
I don't have a shape file to upload to try.
It's a zip file. You have to zip a set of files. I'll try it.
All right, so let's put that as, again, something else to come back to. We had a couple of other questions that I'm tracking to come back to. But let's continue on with your presentation, Gwen. I want to make sure that by noon that we've gone through all the presentations.
Okay. Okay, so we've completed all these things at the top in the ribbon. The last thing I'm going to hit next is submit to DWR. Now, here's your surprise. All of these, what we call them validation issues. Okay, suddenly you're going to get this and you're going to say, whoa, wait, what's this about? And it's giving you a couple different things. A warning is in orange, and we have all warnings here. What you don't have in this submittal, and remember, I had my Excel sheet. You saw me uploading and copying and pasting, and I filled in all my sheets. I think I've done all my attachments. I think I'm ready to go. And then this comes up. If there's something that absolutely must happen that you didn't do, for example, you didn't upload your urban water management plan as an attachment, you'll not just get a warning, you'll get an error, and it will be in red. And you can't proceed, you can't submit until you've addressed that. All these other warnings, these are things that the system checks for. Say, well, I don't know, this value should be the same as that, but it's not. You want to double check it. And if you double check it, you find that you have put the right thing in, you can go ahead and submit. Any warnings, it's okay to submit with the warnings, but these are things for you to review and make sure you entered the right data before you hit submit. I'm going to open this first one. So table 3.1, I can skip to that, I can jump to that table, but let's read the error. Population entered for 2020 should match the SBX compliance table 3 for 2020, which shows 0. That looks like a problem on our end. So I'm going to compare table 3.1 with SBX compliance table 3. Let's go to table 3.1. For 2020, my population is 2 million. Let's go to SBX compliance table 3. Okay, that's a bug. Let us know if you find things that are bugs, because what this said was that the population was not the same, but in fact, it is the same. Okay. I just like to take a quick note. Okay. So let's try this one. Oh, this looks like a problem. I think the compliance table errors aren't working. Let me skip to one that might, okay. Table 6.4. For one or more tables, supplier entered no beneficial water use data and did not indicate if recycled water is not planned. Okay, let's look at table 6.4. We didn't enter any information, which is okay because we're not using recycled water, but we forgot to check that. So I want to just draw your attention to sometimes these headers have questions which have to be answered. This checkbox says, we didn't want to fill this table out because we're not using recycled water. And so the system says, that's good. We don't expect information. And I will go back to submit. and that particular error went away. So a lot of errors here. We might have to, some of these might be buggy. We had some problems with the verification errors. I'm going to go through, make sure they're correct. Let us know if you find some that are mistaken. But if you would go through all the ones that you see, make sure that you have the data that you want to have entered. And then if it's all warnings, no errors, you're good with these errors, or there's a bug in the error, you certify that the data provided in these worksheets is consistent with the submitted plan to the best of my knowledge. Also, you may or may not need an expedited review. In many cases, that's because you have funding that's dependent upon an urban water management plan. And so if you want an expedited review to be moved to the top of the list, put that here and, put in whatever you need to say about why. Okay, now you have a choice. You can save only, not ready to submit, or if you're ready to submit, you hit the submit to DWR. This information cannot be modified after it has been submitted. Not entirely true. You can't modify it without working with us. It's going to be locked to you until such time as you work with us and we say, oh, we found a little problem here. Let us unlock the plan, and DWR will unlock the plan and we can make corrections. But until you work with us, you're locked out of your plan after you've hit submit UWMP. So I'm going to submit this UWMP. I have some warning errors here. Some of them were glitches in the system. The errors weren't correct. Some of them I've corrected. Some of them, yeah, the information was wrong. The error was correct, but the information I put in was fine. I'm okay with it. I'm ready to submit. Submit to DWR. Taking longer than I thought, but hang on, it's a big moment. Okay. You should not have this ability to unlock. This might only be showing up for me. But basically, it's telling you it was electronically submitted to DWR. And we're going to make sure this unlock is not available to you. I think it's only available to me because I'm a reviewer. So,
I just want to make sure you're closer to the microphone, Gwen.
all right. So once you've submitted, you hit that submit button, you're going to get this email from the system. And this is your confirmation, your confirmation of submittal. You want to make sure that you keep this. In 2015, we sent out hard copy letters to the official notification on your contact list, and we electronically CC'd the other people on the contact list. In 2020, we're relying on this automated email that comes from the system. And so this is your notification that you have officially submitted. And before I go on, are there any questions so far?
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. One you've already addressed with regard to making changes. So just to recap that once you submit, if you do need to make changes, you have to request DWR to unlock the system for you to go back and make changes. Another question, do we have to resubmit the method 4 calculation if we submitted it in 2015?
If you submitted it in 2015, it's part of the verification form from 2015. You do not need to resubmit.
Okay. I think these were the only additional question that we have right now. So why don't we continue?
The last thing that I have is some tips. One is when you're going through the tables, please read the table headers. For example, we ran into that on the recycled, right? We didn't check the checkbox that said we don't do recycled water, and so this blank table's okay. Always check the headers. There could be some questions that you need to do a checkbox or not, or there could be some instructions. So make sure to read the headers of all the tables before you move on. Wholesaler and retail. If your supplier is a wholesaler and a retailer, you already know the drill because your Excel tables, you've filled out both of sets of tables. When you go into the system and you check that you're a retailer and a wholesaler, these tables will automatically come up for you. All the retail tables and all the wholesale tables will automatically come up for you. Can we ask the question of how many people have multiple SBX validation or confirmation forms, Danica?
Yeah, I'll put up the poll for, so the one about multiple forms.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it is. Asking, do you have multiple SBX verification compliance forms?
And this is not common, but I am curious just to get a sense of things, how many people on the line will have multiples of those. This is only in the case where your service area has expanded since the baseline period and you're choosing to report it in a particular way. This shouldn't come as a surprise to any of you. You will have filled out all these tables, but it's just going to take a little special submittal in WUI data. And we want to get a sense of how many people that is. We don't think it's many.
Yeah, it's not. Not everybody responded to the poll, which would be helpful for people to do so. But so far, only 5 said that yes, they have multiple forms.
Oh, I'm actually surprised there's that many. Okay, let me just take a minute on this because this is important for those few of you that do. We ask you to contact us directly because you can only submit the data one time for compliance and one time for verification. So what do you do with that multiple? Right now you've got 2 forms. How do you submit? The original service area is what you submit. The multiple second or third forms are only uploaded as an attachment. And that may cause some confusion, so we ask you to please contact us directly before you submit your UWMP. So that's all I'm going to say on that, but contact us. Thank you for that poll. Units of measure, we request but can't require, but boy, is it a recommendation on our part that your units of measure are consistent throughout the entire UWMP. If you're using acre feet in one portion, please use acre feet throughout. And you say, well, maybe that's a problem because my recycled water is in CCF or something like that. If you can, we strongly encourage you to convert everything to the same unit of measure for submittal into WUI data. Because when we start aggregating things in the database across water suppliers, it will start to look funny if the system has tagged it all as acre feet, but you put in your notes, this isn't actually acre feet for recycled water, it's CCF. Well, the system doesn't see your notes. So just a strong encouragement to please keep your units of measure all the same. Just a reminder that there are some tables that don't get entered into WUI data from your Excel spreadsheets. A lot of these have to do with SBX in the validation form. The target methods 2 and 4, they're just uploaded as an attachment. Anything to do with processed water deductions for SBX, uploaded as an attachment. And the water energy tables may be uploaded as an attachment. And in your Excel spreadsheets, some of the tables had the submittal table and then some optional that split into potable and non-potable. And you will have noticed this, but you can only enter the combined table into WUI data. The optional tables are for your use and to put into the document of your UWMP optionally, but you don't put those optional tables into WUI data. And are there any questions on this?
We have a couple of questions that go back to the copying and pasting of information. I don't know if you had a chance, Gwen, to go back and think about that question around copying cells with formulas. But in addition to that point, a couple of other things. When copying and pasting table notes from the Excel tables, it seems to only paste the first line of the note. So asking if that can be fixed. And also once a table note is added in the WUI data table, it does not seem like it can be edited. It can only be deleted and then re-entered. So a couple of things, I don't know if you can address those or something for you to go back to.
On truncated notes, I'm going to send a message to our developer today because we don't want any truncated notes. We don't want to just see the first line. We want to see the entire entry of the notes. That's very important.
I'm wondering if that's happening, if that truncation is happening when they are selecting the entire table and trying and pasting. So it might work if they select the actual text of a long note and paste it just in that cell for the note. So I would try that because I just went through and tried them. I couldn't replicate that problem. So that might be the issue.
Okay. So rather than copying and pasting the table, copy and paste the actual text into the cell.
Yeah,
if it's not copying correctly.
Yeah. Okay. I think these are the only questions that we have right now. Let me see. I think there's one more thing. Just a confirmation. As long as you're submitting the UWMP on time, there's no reason to ask for expedited review, even if you have SRF loan funding request pending. Is that correct? Just wanted to check on that.
SRF funding, Julie?
You know, we don't, I don't know what the process is. I know what the policy is for the SRF, but I don't know how that, I mean, I think that, yeah, I don't think that you need to do a faster process for your review if you submit it on time. For those that don't submit it on time, you should definitely, have that as an alert that you are pending funding, but yeah.
That may, for other sources of funding, talk to your grant contact person, because some places, some funding sources just want you to have may want you to just have the UWMP submitted. Others may want you to have an approved, but it's not the word that we use, a reviewed UWMP from DWR. In the case that they want that plan reviewed, you will want an expedited review. If they only want the submittal, you don't need to have an expedited review. So contact your grant manager.
Okay. And a question that we had earlier and we didn't get a chance to quite answer with regard to access to the tables on behalf of an agency. So the question earlier was, for requesting access to enter data for an agency, is it sufficient to forward the UWMP help email address, a proceed to perform work email we've received from the agency, or do we need the agency themselves to email the UWMP help email to grant us access? So if we have someone doing the work on behalf of an agency, what's the process to get access?
I don't know if Betsy joined, was able to get a microphone or by phone, but she's reviewing all of those, and maybe she could unmute herself if she's on.
Right.
Um,
If she can use the hand raise, then she'll pop up and we can allow her to speak. But I have not, I'm looking through the list, and Betsy Vale, right, Betsy Vale? Yeah, so I can allow her to talk. She should be able to unmute.
It seems as though what the question is suggesting, though, just the agreement between the contractor or the consultant and the supplier should be sufficient. And I'm speaking for Betsy, just kind of making an assumption here. Try it. Try sending that. If Betsy requires a little bit more from you, she'll let you know. She'll work with you.
Mhm.
oh, she sent an email. So the supplier just simply needs to email uwmphelp@water.ca.gov and let us know that the contractor is authorized. Okay, well, so I guess the question, I would assume that the work order is sufficient.
Okay, the question I think is whether the consultant needs to reach out or the agency with that information.
Yeah, I mean, as the protocol right now is that the supplier, it tells us that, yes, we give permission to these people at this organization to submit on our behalf. That's the ideal situation.
Okay. And just going back to that question about copying and pasting cells with embedded formulas, did you have a chance to look at that, Gwen?
You know what? I'm sorry, I haven't. But I think you'll know pretty quickly when you go ahead and do the copy and paste. If I can, I mean, I hate to take up the time. I'd actually rather not take up the time because I want, I'm just going to ask the users if they would go ahead and try that. But I think you'll know pretty quickly if that works or not with your first shot.
All right, yeah, let's continue on and make sure we have time to.
One other thing was that we had pending was the question about the zip file and uploading that for a service area. If they do want to upload a shape file, then you would need to zip all the different files associated with the shape file. So that works fine to upload zip.
All right, great, thank you. All right, go ahead, Gwen. Let's allow you to complete your presentation.
And I asked for one more poll question, if we could show that, how many people are members of regional UWMPs or regional alliances? If we could show that poll.
Yeah, you should be able to see that now.
Mhm.
And it looks like more no than yes at this point. Okay, so I'm gonna end the poll so you can see that just a dozen said yes, most said no, but not everybody responded on the webinar.
That's actually a higher number than I thought. Because what I want to talk about next is regional UWMPs and regional alliances. How are those submitted? Regional UWMP, there's no submittal for the regional UWMP data that's all condensed. What the requirement is that each member of the regional UWMP has their own data, and all that data goes into the system by individual water supplier. But you will highlight the fact that you're a member of a regional UWMP. And I think if I go to the next page. Okay. Here, when you're at your dashboard, this is a water supplier or regional alliance. And I've added this one here for me. But you would add the regional alliance, excuse me, I'm talking about regional urban water management plans. They're separate from regional alliance. Okay, excuse me. Let's talk about regional urban water management plans. Everyone submits separately. So if you have a question, here you are at your dashboard, submittal of regional urban water management plan. Here it is. Here's all the information that you need. Basically, each agency will submit as their separate entity, but you will tag that you are a member of an urban water management plan, which shows up in a later table. So there's no special submittal for a regional. Do it as individual, and there's a place in, I think, table 2.2 where you flag that you're a member of the regional urban water management plan. If you're part of a regional alliance, that's a slightly different thing. So I've added a regional alliance here, and it came up here. I'm going to launch that tool. Very different, right? So who are the water suppliers? You add them here by clicking that. And if there are other members that are not water suppliers, you add them here. Have there been changes to the membership since 2015? Which of the options are you using for your regional alliance report? It's option 1, 2, or 3. And is the alliance associated with a regional UWMP? And if it is associated with a regional urban water management plan, give the name of it here. Then your attachments. Regional alliance Excel tables. These don't go into WUI data tables. They just go in as an attachment. Regional alliance Excel tables. You may also have a regional alliance letter, and that is if you have a new regional alliance or the membership has changed, there's an official letter that you have to send to us and upload here. And I believe I am done with my presentation. Oh, sorry, there's one more. It's kind of a big one. Before I go on to that, are there any questions before I talk about after submittal?
Gwen, just in the interest of time, I think it'll be good for you to finish the presentation. And
Okay.
then after Julie does next steps, we'll address other questions.
Okay. So what happens after you've submitted? So DWR reviews the plans in the order that they're received, unless you've asked for an expedited review. And it goes through 3 levels of review. First, we call it the primary review. And that's just, we have a long checklist. You've seen those items on the checklist that we have for you in our guidebook, Appendix F, I believe it is. We go through the checklist at kind of a high level. It's just for the primary review is just like presence and absence. You know, did they do it? Is it in the plan or not? Did they do it according to the code? Yes or no? And then anything that's flagged with a no or not sure will be noted on the checklist. Then there are 3 areas that take a special reviews, a second look at: the SBX tables, water shortage contingency plan, and water energy. Now, once all that secondary review, that second look at the special areas is done, the checklist is completed. And then we have what we call a final review, where we determine what the outcome of the review is. And there are several review outcomes. One is the requirements addressed, and you will receive a formal letter, hard copy letter in the mail to the contact person that you put on your contact form, and everyone on the contact form will get CC'd. And that's an easy one. We like that one, requirements addressed. Or it may come down to requirements addressed with recommendations. Let's see. There are things that you didn't quite do in accordance with the code, such as you didn't contact the cities or counties that you were supposed to in the right amount of time. Well, you can't go back in time and correct that. So we would just say, you're going to get requirements addressed, but we'll make recommendations for 2025. Then in order to better address this section of the code, that you contact those cities and counties in accordance with the requirements, something like that. But it's a requirements address letter, you're good to go. There may be some other errors that we would like to have correction on. Maybe it's data entry errors, something that are relatively minor. And if we find things like that, we will contact you and we'll talk. We may have to talk over the plan and see how we want to address the corrections. Is it going to be minor corrections with an errata? Is it going to be major corrections with an amendment? We'll call you first in either way. If it's minor corrections with an errata, then we'll unlock the plan after we've talked to you and you can make the corrections, no problem. If there are major problems, of course, we'll contact you first. And if it's major, it's going to require an amendment. An amendment process includes public hearing and includes adoption by the board. So, hopefully there won't be many of those, hopefully very few of those amendments. And again, we'll contact you first. You're not going to be surprised by this. And maybe we'll talk it through and you'll say, oh, you know what, we did address that in this section, and maybe we just didn't find it in our review. So in any case, we'll contact you first if we find some deficiencies. And if it's something that's a major correction, the first thing we're going to send you formally after our informal communications is an advisory letter saying that we have found it does not address the requirements of the code, and we'll give you, I think, a 2-month time window to do the corrections as an amendment. If the 2 months, and I'm not sure in that time frame, but it'll be in the advisory letter. If that time frame passed and we didn't get the amendment from you, then we're going to send you a second letter saying that the review is completed and you have not addressed the requirements. So those are the possible outcomes of the review. And I'll take any questions about that.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Gwen. So I'm going to let Julie just do the next steps. If you want to go to the next slide, Gwen, since you have the presentation. And after we do that, then we'll stay on for more questions.
Maybe I'll let
Okay,
Julie talk about
if you
this.
could just go over to the wrap up and next steps, Gwen.
Would you talk for a minute about the report to the legislature, Julie?
About 10 seconds, yeah, because we're hitting the noon timing. So the DWR, what happens with the plans after they go through our review process and they are on the website publicly, which is per water code requirements. There is also a requirement for DWR to prepare a report to the legislature that is a summary of different components and elements of what was submitted for all of the urban water management plans across the state. And so this includes, how many, what portion were submitted, the compliance with the SBX 77 targets, and then what pieces were new and what was exemplary from some of the urban water management plans. So we'll be busy preparing that after we've reviewed a large portion of the plans. So we'll start this winter preparing that report. can you go to the next slide so we can wrap up in 1 minute? So thank you all for coming to this. Hope that it was helpful, and we do have a quick poll on that we could probably put up. There's usually I don't know if there is a poll or this time, but we want to remind you that the WUI data portal is open for submittal now, and July 1st is the deadline per the water code requirements. And of course, feel free to contact us. Gwen and I are both out of town, coincidentally, unfortunately, starting on the 11th, and we'll be out next week. But we have Betsy Vale and Zaida Darley are here to answer questions, and we will also get back to you after that if there are any pending issues. So just want to flag that. And also the training sessions are all available on the YouTube playlist under DWR. It's the Urban Water Management Plan playlist that we put in the agenda we sent out today. And also this one will be posted next week. So this important dates to remember, of course, and July 1st.
All right. Thanks. And so just the last poll, we just wanted to check in with you if the training was helpful. And while you do that, just want to thank you all for joining us for the training. And if you feel that you don't have any additional questions, that's fine. If you want to get off the webinar, we do have a few more questions that we're going to now go through, and we'll stay on the webinar as long as people have questions or want to ask. So I'm going to start with a question with regard to the Regional Alliance. Does every member of the Regional Alliance have to go through the process, Gwen, that you just went through? My agency is a member of Regional Alliance, but we are submitting an individual urban water management plan and individual tables.
The Regional Alliance itself does one submittal of all the calculations that they did to come up with a Regional Alliance target, and only gets submitted once. But each member of the Alliance will also submit their individual urban water management plan. And again, the submittal for a Regional Alliance is pretty small. We walk through it, maybe a handful of questions, and then uploading your attachments and a letter.
Okay, thanks. And Julie, can you just repeat your response earlier with regard to the GIS files, just to make sure it's clear?
Sure. So for those of you that have a shape file, you have for the service area boundary, you'll have multiple files that are part of that one shape file. So you zip them and upload them, and the system is fine with accepting zip files to be uploaded for the service area boundary.
Okay, and another question related to next steps. What is the estimated time from submission to being reviewed?
Well, Gwen has done this before. This is my first time. But so Anna Sutton is asking when to expect them, because the Bureau of Reclamation receives the urban water management plans after they've been reviewed by DWR that are relevant for their suppliers. So does it usually take a month, or is it completely depend, or you want to answer that question?
Well, what happens, of course, is we've got this avalanche of submittals right around July 1st. So we can't get through all of those submittals within 1 month. It's just not possible. Can I give you a time frame? Boy, that's really hard to admit. That too. It's really hard to say because it can take a long time. If, for example, there's a lot of back and forth with the agency. We call, we need some more information from them. We need to unlock the plan. That process can take some time. If it's, but then there's also the queue, right? Depending on when you submitted, you're in a line. And depending on how many are in front of you, it is probably going to take longer than a month in most cases. We'll get through as many as we can, but I don't really have a time frame. Some of them took over a year last time. If you need an expedited review, contact us and we'll expedite, but it can take a long time. We're trying to be as faster than we have been, but historically over all these rounds of UWMPs, it takes a long time, definitely over a year to get through all of them. Or it has.
There will be some, but there will definitely be some for those that submit by the deadline. I mean, they will go through the process by the fall, because she's just asking when to start expecting them for their review. Our report to the legislature is due July 1st, so 2022. So she should expect some at least.
All right, so just kind of a takeaway from this is a significant effort. It will take time, and that you're going to be working through it to get to your legislative report. And if there is a need for to ask for a plan to be expedited, to contact you for that moving forward. Going back to the original alliance question from before, there is some flexibility in terms of the reporting, the timing. So if some agencies report in fiscal year and others in calendar year, does that pose any issues for reporting for the regional alliance?
Well, the regional alliance might have had to make that accommodation when they were filling out all of their regional alliance tables. By the time that you're here and you're ready to submit, you only submit one set of regional alliance tables. And that, you've had to already make accommodations for different reporting periods. And however the individual agency reports in their submittal is fine. They can be different time periods, but the regional alliance will have had to work with that and make that accommodation when they've completed their regional alliance tables.
All right, thanks, Gwen. Jeffrey has a question regarding the SBX 77 tables, and I'm just going to read his case description. Although we didn't make any changes to the SBX 77 baseline methodology that we chose, we completed DWR's Excel template of the SBX 77 verification form and included the tables in our 2020 plan. But on the SBX 77 table we were shown today, the checkbox we believe is applicable to us is the first checkbox, relying on 2015 form, no resubmission needed. If we filled out the SBX 77 tables and displayed them in our 2020 plan, is it acceptable to still check the first box and bypass completing the verification form in the WE data portal?
I would ask that you do not resubmit the information in your verification form. And if you're worried that what you have in your UWMP is different than what's in WUI data, that's okay, because you will have submitted the verification form as part of your attachments, right? We ask that you do submit that verification form from 2015 as a request on our part. We can't require, but you submit that as an attachment or as part of the overall UWMP document. But I would say don't check the box that says you're relying on 2015 and just skip those verification tables.
Okay, I don't see any additional questions. I'm looking to see if there's anything we didn't cover. If you have multiple staff in the agency with their own user account, is only one person allowed to input data for the agency before it is submitted? In other words, is the draft information inputted for the agency linked to that person account, or is another user able to access the data from their own account? Do those account link into the process?
So if I understand the question, can there be more than one user that's authorized to enter data?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. With regard to the question on the water shortage contingency plan, it's an attachment. I believe we discussed that it can be uploaded as a separate file. Yeah, okay.
It looks like that question is asking if they can just include it as like in one package with the urban water management plan. They can. We hope that you would attach it separately also, just for our review, but also for the public to be able to access that information separately from the actual like larger urban water management plan.
And Julie, just to highlight that we did have a training on that particular topic. I don't remember which training it was, but for anyone who's looking for specific information on that, there was a separate recording for that discussion. Yeah. I don't see any additional questions. I think with that, we could probably end the webinar. Really appreciate everybody's participation, and the questions are really helpful. We identify some things that DWR needs to go back and check on, and very important reminder to just continue and communicate and as you work through this. And
somebody just asked to repeat the email. Did you see that? I'll say it. We can put it in that. We just put it in the answered questions, but the email address to email us, which is better than just to each individual one of us DWR staff, because that way it's a group account and we can make sure to keep track of it better. That email address is UWMP, like Urban Water Management Plan, help, so no spaces, at water.ca.gov. I'll put it in the chat too, just so it's
I just did that. Oh, okay. Danica did that as well. Okay. We're all trying to be responsive. All right. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to our presenter. Thanks, Gwen and Zayda, for providing a lot of good information today. And I think with that, we'll conclude the webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Gwen.